Hello. This video was created by Prachi, a staff information developer at BMC Software, and narrated by a computer-generated voice. This is the fourth video in the 5-part video series to demonstrate the end-to-end configuration and working of the BMC Helix Platform approval process. In this video, we will see how to create an approval process and configure chaining. An approval process is an end-to-end execution of events from the time user makes a request until the request is addressed, where the input is the record definition and the output is the approval status. And approval chaining is a process. When one approval process is complete, another process is triggered based on the outcome of the first process. Log into BMC Helix Innovation Studio and navigate to the Workspace tab. Select the application for which you want to create the approval process. Here we will select Case Management Library to create an approval process. In the Processes tab, click New. On the Process Properties tab, enter a name for this process. Now add the process variables. For this, click Add Remove Variables. For this use case, the approval engine expects 2 input variables and 1 output variable. The first input variable stores the record definition, and the second input variable stores the status of a BWFA flow. The output variable stores the outcome of the approval flow that will be called by this process. These variables are identified by the variable IDs. The variable IDs ensure that the correct information is passed to and from the approval flow and the approval process. The approval process needs a way to insert the input record on the correct input variable. Typically, you would use this scenario when you are creating a generic process to handle situations apart from the approvals. The approval engine assumes that this will be a majority of the use case, and hence requires the variable ID to be constant. The variable ID for a record definition should be 57000. For input text, it should be 57020. And that of the output text should be 57030. To add the input variable, click Add Variable. Enter a name for this variable. Select variable type as input, and data type as record. Enter the record definition as case, which is the record definition that we used while configuring approval flows. Enter the variable ID for input as 57000. Now to add a second input variable. Click Add Variable again. Enter a name for this variable. Select the variable type as input, and data type as text. Enter the variable ID for text input as 57020. Now let's define the output variable. This is the variable that stores the result of the flow that is being called from this process. This process variable expects the outcome of the facilities flow group. Enter a name for this variable. Select the variable type as output and data type as text. Enter the variable ID as 57030. And save the configuration. Now from the palette, drag and drop the approval process element onto the canvas. On the Element Properties pane, in the Input Map section, enter the record name. Select Click to build an expression. On the Edit Expression screen, select the input process variable. Click OK. Select the flow group name. We have already configured the flow groups while configuring the approval flows. Select the facilities flow group. To add the output map, click Add. From the Name field, select the output process variable. Then from the Source field select Click to build an expression. On the Edit Expression screen, select Approval Status and then click OK. Save the process. We have now created the approval process. Our next step is to update the approval flows with the approval process that we just configured. To update the approval flows, navigate to the Administration tab. From Approvals, select Approval Configurations. Select the record definition for which we had earlier configured the approval flows. On the Edit Approval Flow UI, click Approval Flows tab. Go to the BWFA flow group. And for the Outcome field, select Approved. Now select the process that we created earlier in this video. Click Add and then save the configuration. When the BWFA flow group is executed and the request is approved, the onboarding process is invoked and executed. This process in turn calls the facilities flow group. This is called chaining of processes. We have created the approval process and configured chaining. In the last and fifth video we will see approval mapping, and how the approval request is approved by using the approval console. Thank you for watching this video.